Hi everybody, this is your instructor Martin Coleman, and today we're going to be talking about freeware, shareware, and open source for elementary teachers. A whole bunch of new stuff that we've already been kind of playing with on some level. First thing, what is all this? You guys are probably guessing that freeware is free, and taking what we know from a little wordsmithing here, it's software. So freeware is something that somebody has developed generally as a pet project. Maybe a company's got in a beta form and they're putting it out to see if people will actually use it or like it. Or an old version of something that once cost, they just decided they put out for free and let everybody use it. So freeware, great stuff. It's a good thing for elementary teachers who have a budget and they can't afford to have every bit of software they want. That's the normal commercial, $200-300 cost. Shareware is a lot like freeware, except it generally has some stipulations that go along with it. A lot of times shareware is free, but it has limited use. Like you can use all the tools and toys, but you can't save anything. Or else you can only use it for 30 days. Or you can use it for 30 days and then they ask you to donate 5, 10, 15 bucks for the software, and then they give you a code that lets you open up everything and use it forever and ever and ever. So generally it's a lot cheaper. Open source is generally freeware. It's something though that's kind of in a constant beta version, that it may not be in a format that's ever done, that people from all over the world are working on it, developing new little sections, new additions, new applications, improving it, changing it, modifying it. They basically give you the guts and bolts of the software and it works, but you can go in and actually modify it and change it and do whatever you want with it. So there's not all these copyright stipulations with the software, and most open source software we tend to just use as a consumer instead of a developer, but there are those people that really enjoy making new things for everybody else to use. So you now know what freeware, shareware, and open source is. Where do you get it? Probably the biggest ones I've got listed right here, and a lot of times I'll go to probably the top two when I'm looking for something specific. The download.com, 2cows, they're probably my favorites because they're basically a website that is a giant database of all the freeware and shareware that's out there, and that you can use it to find things that are safe, that don't have viruses or other things that you have to worry about. Some of the other things at the bottom, like the portable apps, are cool little software that you can save and put on a flash drive and use on your computer. And so these are some little specific ones that you can preload a jump drive, flash drive, whatever you call it, and have a whole bunch of software that's free or shareware on there. So what's out there? Well, it's more of a question of what's not out there. You can pretty much find anything you can think of in a freeware, shareware, or open source out there. I've got a few things out here that you guys are generally going to be looking for, some things you may not be looking for, but kind of get your ideas going, get your brain working on what you can find out there. A lot of times you'll be surprised what someone has created and you're like, well, why did they ever make that? So how do we find these things? Well, the first thing is when you go somewhere like download.com or 2cows or Buttersoft or some of the others that I have listed on our website, you need to use general search terms, and sometimes you have to mix and match words to come up with what you want. If you're looking for a gradebook program that does something specific, well, you may just want to start with gradebook. Put that in there. Or if you're looking for something that's a crossword puzzle generator for science terms having to do with the water cycle, well, crossword is what you're going to look in, or crossword generator, crossword maker, things like that. When you get in and you start looking around some of these options, and they'll give you all the options you never knew you wanted, check ratings and reviews. A lot of them use a star system, a number rating system, or they have reviews of what people thought of them. So check those out before you get to really do anything. And then make sure that they have it in your operating system. And what I mean by that is, are you running Windows, Mac, Linux? What are you running? Is it Windows XP? Is it Vista? Is it the 7? Is it OS 9, OS 10? Whatever it happens to be. Make sure you know that ahead of time. Then make sure that it's either a freeware or a shareware, or something that's going to cost you down the road. Some of these are just free and no strings attached. Some of them you pay a one-time fee of $10 or $15, and some of them you have to pay every single year. So make sure you know that before you get too far ahead. The other thing is, if you're just searching on Google or Yahoo or MSN for a software instead of one of these I've kind of listed for you, you have a good chance of getting viruses. So make sure you have a antivirus software or spyware program on your computer before you ever start downloading any of this stuff. If you do it from the sites that I've listed, you're not going to have to worry about this. These have all been pre-checked. Everything's okay. And so, last but least, if you see something that's a pay product, it's an Adobe, Microsoft, whatever it happens to be, and they're offering it for free, or it's a serial number to get it to work or something like that, generally that's going to be one that is a virus, and it's going to get in your computer, or else you're going to find a site that has a bunch of pictures and images you don't want to see. So, testing. Don't be afraid to download some of these. Try them out. See what happens. You may find the best software ever made, and it doesn't cost you a dime. But if you decide you don't like it, make sure you delete it when you're done, because you can fill up your computer with more worthless software that's all going to be trying to run in the background and slow it down. So let your tech know in your school that you're going to be testing some software. Sometimes they can come in and set a restore point, that if you have too many software or have problems or something like that, that they can just put it right back to where it was before you started doing all this testing. Save you a lot of time in the future. Divide and conquer. Yeah, spread it around. Get the other teachers in your grade or in your elementary school to test some of the software. Also then report back. That way you're not all spending hours and hours and hours doing the same thing. Last of all, hey, you know what? Your students probably know this stuff better than you. Ask them what they're using. Ask them what they like. Find out what they think they should be using.